In the heart of Umweke village, nestled amidst rolling hills and verdant landscapes, the rhythm of daily life commenced not with the gentle caress of the sun's first rays, nor the boisterous crowing of the village chickens announcing a new dawn. Instead, a different kind of alarm clock stirred the community from its slumber. It was Mama Ebuka's booming voice, a force of nature that resonated through the village, carrying with it a potent blend of frustration and unwavering determination. Her voice was the unofficial town crier, a sound that everyone knew and either dreaded or chuckled at, depending on their relationship with the family. She stood in the center of her compound, a small but well-kept space that served as the stage for her daily pronouncements. The compound, usually a place of calm and family activity, was now the epicenter of Mama Ebuka's morning ritual. Hands planted firmly on her hips, her wrapper pulled tight around her waist, a posture that spoke volumes about her resolve and unwavering spirit. She was a woman of substance, a matriarch in her own right, and she wouldn't let the day start without making her presence known. Her target, as always, was her only son, Ebuka, the unfortunate recipient of her early morning tirade. He was the focus of her hopes and dreams, and also, it seemed, the outlet for her daily frustrations. "Ebuka, useless boy, wake up! The world is passing you by while you slumber." Her voice cracked with a mixture of anger and desperation, a sound that echoed through the village, waking up not just Ebuka, but anyone within earshot. Chidi, she'd often lament, built a house for his mother, a house that stands as a testament to his success and gratitude. Emeka, she'd continue, her voice laced with envy, bought a car for his father, a shining symbol of his achievements and filial duty. "And you? What have you done? Only sleeping and eating? A disgrace to the family name?" Her words were sharp, cutting through the morning air like a knife. Ebuka, roused from his sleep, shuffled out of his hut, his eyes downcast, his shoulders heavy with the weight of his mother's expectations. He knew this routine all too well. "Mama, it's still early," he'd mumble, his voice barely audible, hoping to appease her with a simple plea for peace. "Early? For a man with nothing to his name? For a man who brings no pride to his family?" Her voice rose again, fueled by his perceived lack of ambition. "My friends laugh at me. They flaunt their children's success. I want a Benz, a gleaming Mercedes-Benz to silence their taunts. Make me proud, Ebuka, make your mother proud." Neighbors, drawn by the familiar sound of Mama Ebuka's morning sermon, peeked from behind their own compounds, shaking their heads in a mixture of amusement and concern. Some pitied Ebuka, caught in the crossfire of his mother's aspirations, while others secretly agreed with Mama Ebuka, believing that a young man should strive for more. Mama Ebuka's world was small, confined to the boundaries of Umweke village, but her dreams were loud, echoing far beyond the mud walls of her compound. Wealth, status, the symbols of success that she craved, not just for herself, but as a reflection of her son's achievements. A shiny car, a status symbol, a weapon to silence her rivals and elevate her standing in the village hierarchy. "Go and find money," she'd scream, her voice reaching a fever pitch, fueled by years of unfulfilled dreams and societal pressures, pointing a finger towards the dusty village path, the road that led to the outside world, a world of opportunities and challenges. "Don't come back until you look like the son of a rich woman, until you can hold your head high and command respect." And with that, she'd turn away abruptly, her back stiff with indignation, leaving Ebuka to grapple with the weight of her expectations. Leaving Ebuka alone, standing in the dust, crushed by her words, and facing the daunting task of fulfilling his mother's seemingly impossible dreams. The weight of her expectations settled heavily on his young shoulders, a burden he carried with a mixture of resentment and a flicker of determination. Ebuka wasn't just lazy. It wasn't simply a matter of preferring leisure over labor. There was a deeper current running beneath his apparent idleness, a resistance to the traditional path laid out for him. He saw the back-breaking work of farming, the endless cycle of planting and harvesting, and he yearned for something more, something different. He felt trapped by the expectations of his community, the unspoken pressure to follow in the footsteps of his ancestors. He was stubborn, a stubbornness that bordered on defiance. It wasn't just a casual disregard for advice. It was a deeply ingrained resistance to being told what to do, how to live his life. This stubborn streak, while perhaps admirable in some contexts, was quickly becoming a barrier between him and his community, a wedge driven between him and the wisdom of his elders. Elders, wise with the experience of generations, called him to learn farming. They saw his potential, his strength, and they wanted to guide him, to impart the knowledge that had sustained their community for centuries. They offered to teach him the secrets of the soil, the rhythms of the seasons, the satisfaction of providing for himself and his family, but he'd only smile, a thin, dismissive smile that didn't reach his eyes, and say, "I'll think about it," a phrase that had become his standard response, a polite but firm rejection of their well-intentioned advice, never meaning it. The words were empty, a mere formality to appease the elders and avoid confrontation. In his heart, he had already made his decision. Farming was not for him. He wanted quick money, the kind of wealth that could transform his life overnight, the kind he saw flaunted in the music videos and movies that trickled in from the city. Not sweat and soil. He didn't want to toil under the scorching sun, his hands calloused and dirty. He craved the ease and comfort that he believed money could buy, the freedom from the endless grind of agricultural labor. His friends, the big city dreamers, a group of young men equally disillusioned with rural life, echoed his dreams, fueling his ambition with tales of urban opportunity and easy riches. They were a band of brothers, united by their shared desire for a better life, a life far removed from the limitations of their village. Their leader, Scorpion, a charismatic and persuasive figure, bragged about city riches, painting a vivid picture of a life of luxury and ease. "One deal and you're a millionaire," Scorpion would declare, his voice filled with unwavering confidence. Ebuka believed him, hanging on every word, his eyes wide with anticipation. He wanted to believe, needed to believe, that a better life was within his reach. Hard work was for fools, he thought, for those who lacked the vision and the courage to seize their own destiny. He saw himself as smarter, more ambitious, destined for something greater. He stopped listening to elders, their voices now a distant hum, their wisdom irrelevant to his grand plans. He stopped helping at home, shirking his responsibilities, his mind consumed by thoughts of wealth and success, and spent his days plotting with his friends, hatching schemes, and dreaming of the day they would escape the confines of their village and conquer the city. The village noticed the change, the subtle shift in his demeanor, the growing distance in his eyes. They whispered amongst themselves, concerned about the path he was choosing. Ebuka's eyes grew hard, reflecting a newfound determination, but also a growing detachment from the values and traditions of his community. His mother's words no longer stung, her pleas and warnings now falling on deaf ears. He had hardened himself against her concerns, convinced that she simply didn't understand his ambitions. Mama Ebuka, blinded by her own greed, dismissed warnings from neighbors and family, choosing to believe in her son's potential for success, even if it meant turning a blind eye to his questionable choices. "At least he's thinking of money now," she would retort, defending her son's newfound ambition, even as it led him down a dangerous path. Ebuka refused honest work, turning down opportunities that would have provided him with a steady income and a sense of purpose. Determined to prove everyone wrong, to show them that he was capable of achieving great things, even if it meant taking shortcuts and bending the rules. He would get the Benz, no matter the cost, that gleaming symbol of success that represented everything he desired. And so, he walked further from the light, drawn by the allure of easy money and the promise of a better life. Chasing shadows with his friends, deeper and deeper into the darkness, unaware of the dangers that lay ahead. One morning, Umueke woke to silence, no Mama Ebuka shouting. She found Ebuka's room empty, his few belongings gone. He'd vanished in the night. Scorpion was missing too. The village whispered, "He's followed that bad boy to the city." At first, Mama Ebuka worried, then hope replaced fear. He's gone to find fortune. He'll return with my Benz. Months passed. No word from Ebuka. The compound stayed silent, shame settling in. At the market, people asked, "Any news?" She lied, "He's working hard in the city." But doubt gnawed at her. Had she pushed him too far? 6 months of silence. Her hope faded, regret grew. Then one evening, a powerful car engine roared down the village path, a sound that would change everything. The village held its breath. A black Benz rolled into Mama Ebuka's compound, shining in the sunset. Children chased it, adults stared. The car stopped where Mama Ebuka once scolded her son. Out stepped a man in white agbada, gold chain, sunglasses. Ebuka, transformed. He stood tall, confident, no longer the boy with bent shoulders. "Mama, I'm back. Here's your Benz," he said, dangling the keys. Mama Ebuka screamed with joy, hugging him, dancing around the car. She didn't ask where he'd been or how he got rich. She only saw her dream come true. The village watched, amazed. Her rivals bowed, her pride soared. She sang and danced, her joy echoing through Umweke. No one questioned the miracle, yet. Mama Ebuka threw the biggest party Umweke had ever seen. She spent money like water. Cows, musicians, feasts. She paraded her Benz, changing outfits, basking in praise. But as music played, elders whispered, "This wealth is too sudden. It smells of danger." Ebuka tossed money carelessly, his eyes empty, haunted. Neighbors gossiped, 6 months ago he was broke. Now he's rich, something's wrong. Rumors spread, Scorpion was missing and Ebuka's money had a dark source. No one dared confront Mama Ebuka. She was lost in her new world. The party ended, but suspicion lingered. The elders watched, worried. The river of money flowed too fast. The village waited for the truth to surface. Life changed. Ebuka gave his mother endless bags of money. "Spend it, Mama. There's more," he said. She believed him. She stopped working, spent her days shopping, flaunting her wealth. Ebuka did nothing, just sat, sunglasses on, silent, distant. The money never ran out, though Ebuka never worked or received visitors. Villagers grew wary. "Money that appears from nowhere is not natural," they said. Mama Ebuka ignored them, boasting, "My son's money is blessed." But the elders knew, what looks like a miracle can be a curse. They kept their distance, sensing darkness behind the riches. The debt to the shadows would soon be due. Strange things began at night. Whispers, then cries, then the house trembling. Mama Ebuka heard voices full of pain. "Ebuka, did you hear that?" She'd ask. He'd pretend to sleep. The house shook, plates rattled, pots shattered. Fear crept in. Ebuka changed. He hid in his room, stopped eating, grew thin and haunted. At night, he screamed in his sleep, begging unseen forces for mercy. One night a crash. Mama Ebuka found Ebuka clawing at the walls, wild-eyed. "They're here, Mama. They want their money back," he screamed. The room shook, empty but for terror. For the first time, Mama Ebuka felt a cold fear money couldn't warm. The darkness had come to collect. Ebuka lost his mind, running, screaming, seeing monsters everywhere. He attacked the Benz, calling it cursed, saw snakes in his food, and no longer recognized his mother. Mama Ebuka's pride turned to ashes. She tried everything, herbalists, prayers, medicine men, but nothing worked. The price for his wealth was his soul, one told her. Guilt and fear broke her too. She wandered, muttering, "I only wanted a Benz." She saw mocking faces, heard taunting voices, stopped wearing her fine clothes. Every morning, she washed the Benz with her tears, trying to scrub away invisible blood. "It's dirty. It's covered in blood," she'd whisper. The villagers watched from afar, pitying the mother and son destroyed by their own greed. The Benz, once a symbol of pride, became a monument to their downfall. The black Benz sat abandoned, a monument to a forgotten dream. Weeds, like grasping fingers, grew around it, slowly reclaiming the metal carcass for the earth. Dust, the color of regret, coated its once gleaming surface, a testament to time and tragedy. It was a ghost car in a ghost compound, a stark reminder of what once was and what could never be again. The silence surrounding it was heavy, pregnant with unspoken stories and lingering sorrow. The compound itself, once bustling with life, now stood empty, a hollow shell echoing with the ghosts of laughter and ambition. Ebuka and his mother were taken away, swallowed by the shadows of their own desires, never to return to their home, their village, their lives. Their absence left a void, a gaping wound in the heart of Umueke, but their story remained, etched into the collective memory of the village, a cautionary tale whispered from generation to generation. It served as a constant reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the corrosive power of greed. The elders used it to warn the young, to instill in them the values of humility, honesty, and community. They knew that the allure of quick riches could be intoxicating, but they also understood the devastating consequences that could follow. Greed gives you a fine house, a mansion that scrapes the sky, filled with treasures beyond measure, but steals your peace, leaving you restless and haunted by the shadows of your choices. Do not celebrate wealth you do not understand, they'd say, their voices grave with the weight of experience. For what is gained unjustly will surely be lost. Pointing to the empty car, a silent testament to their words, it was a visual representation of their wisdom, a constant reminder of the price of ambition. The village changed, subtly but irrevocably. The pursuit of wealth became tempered with caution, ambition balanced with a healthy dose of skepticism. People became cautious, their eyes sharpened, their instincts honed. They learned to look beyond the surface, to question the source of sudden prosperity. Valuing hard work and a good name over sudden riches, they understood that true wealth lay not in material possessions, but in the bonds of community and the integrity of one's character. When someone got rich quickly, raising eyebrows and stirring whispers, they asked questions, probing for answers, wary of glittering traps and the seductive allure of easy money. The tale of Mama Ebuka's Benz became a shield, protecting the village from the insidious temptations of greed and the devastating consequences of unchecked ambition. Teaching contentment and patience, reminding them that true happiness lay not in the accumulation of wealth, but in the simple joys of life and the strength of community. It showed that a parent's pride, if misguided, can plant seeds of sorrow, leading to ruin and despair. The empty Benz reminded all, a constant rusting monument, better to walk in peace with a clear conscience and a light heart than drive a cursed car into madness, sacrificing everything for a fleeting moment of glory. In Umweka, the lesson was never forgotten, a constant reminder etched into the very fabric of their community.